everyone, it's Nancy here, back with another process video for you. I've taken this piece of Studio Calico paper that I have been hoarding for a very long time. I had such ideas and visions for this paper, and then during my recent destash I found it and I thought, oh my goodness, did I never use this piece of paper? Because I saw so many people do really cool techniques and stuff with it when it was first out. I think I even had Project Life card with it on, because that's when I used to subscribe to the the Studio Calico kit. But yeah, I really loved it, and it's just sat in my stash, which is, you know, the story of so many bits of paper that we all have. Well, I have especially. So I've decided to use it to scrap these series of photos. And these are a series of photos from the day in the life that I did recently, in July. And I always do it on, well, I don't always do it, I kind of do it every few months on the 25th, and I do it with the Wheelcraft Supplies gang, which is now the Pink Camera guys, because it's Sandra and Lisa. And it was a really cool day to do it, actually, because I had like the fancy dress barbecue at work and some really cool stuff going on, so it was actually a really good day to document. Even though I've done a few other layouts about the sort of barbecue and the dressing up and stuff like that, I really just like how this documents everything from sort of, you know, my breakfast and sitting at my desk and driving to work and all that kind of stuff as well. So what I did is I'm just taking my Mr. Huey watercolours, and I love these watercolours, I absolutely adore them, and I'm just using them to paint the July letters, words. And where it worked out on the paper, it kind of dictated where I could do my clusters, I put my photos and things, because I didn't want to cover up too many of those Julys, because, you know, that's another way of documenting what the month is. I had this piece of watercolour paper lying around, and so I decided, as I had these watercolours out, that I really wanted to use them on this layout. I also have a lot of the Chamel collection there as well, and I wanted to use some of those dyes, which kind of gave me an idea. So you saw me there just kind of measuring to make sure I kind of had space. So I'm just taking these watercolours and creating some ombre effects, and different patches of colour, so I can then use this watercolour paper to die cut. And I'm still pretty new to kind of this whole manual die cutting thing, but I am really loving it, so you are going to be seeing it more and more. I promise I'm going to find some more dies up, because you're going to get fed up of seeing these same dies, but yeah, actually really enjoyed this process, and these watercolours are so lovely, and they're such a little cheap, you know, they're cheap, they were nowhere near as expensive as some other ones out there, and actually I really like the colour payoff on these, and I don't find them too chalky either. My cheaper ones that I got from 2Ps, which you could get in Michael's and all those kind of ones, I found were a little bit chalky when they dried, but these ones weren't. So here I am just grabbing my neglected Big Shots, and running through the different dyes. So I'm using some dynamic dyes, which are like the little iPhone one, and I'm also using the memory box sort of confetti hearts as well. And I really love how these come out and how they end up looking on this layout, especially out of the watercolour paper. They just work really well. And as I said, I'm still kind of, you know, learning to find my way around my Big Shot again. But yes, I'm really pleased that I've actually dug it out and started using it again, because it was very neglected. And it really was spurred on by the designs from, well, the dyes from Chamel. I knew I wanted the Chamel collection, and when I saw those dyes, I had to have them. So here you can see I'm just trying to find something black that I can use to cut out this little iPhone die, and I'm actually using one of those brag cards from Fancy Pants. It had a little bit of black on. I didn't have any black cardstock. I basically completely ran out of black cardstock now, because I recently done my check album, which I'm sure you've seen if you watch this channel, and I kind of used a lot of my black cardstock up for that. That was a 6x12 format album, so I don't have any black cardstock, so that is something I'm going to have to make sure that I stock up on and at some point. I'm trying not to buy any 12x12 at the moment, and there you can see I've just made that little iPhone up there, and I really love it. It's so cute. I have to say, I'm not sure I'm going to use it a lot, but I love my iPhone, and when I saw that you could get a really tiny stamp, I'm like, I have to have this. I did find my pokey tool a godsend when using these dies. Using the watercolor paper, it did cut, but it didn't kind of cut it out of it, if you know what I mean. You had to kind of just push them through, which is really good because it meant they didn't go anywhere. And my beloved pokey tool just made that so easy. I am still searching for another of these pokey tools out there, because I got it just at a local craft shop, and they've never had them back in, and I just can't find them anywhere. But I love it so much, so I'll be devastated if it ever breaks or I lose it. So I just turned the video off there because I had to sort of tidy up and put my Big Shot away, and I also pulled out a few of the dies from the die cut pieces from the Chamel collection, and I really like the tones of it. It is quite muted. I did think that her collection was going to be brighter, but yeah, it works okay. I do really like it, and I really like this film strip, so I'm just using that to highlight over the two different Julys there. I pulled out the little clock because I thought, okay, this is about, you know, recording a moment in time, so I wanted to make sure that I included that. This other card there says like watching, looking, loving, that kind of list thing, so I thought that worked really well. And I'm just cutting that banner up as well, which I use the die cut, my die cut machine for. And as you can see, I also spritz some gold in the background, just to add a little bit of interest. And if you didn't know, Chamel's die cut pack does include some bits with some gold elements on as well. So I really love those. I also pulled the 25 out of the pack because this was the 25th of July that it done it. So the 2 and 5 worked really well on this layout, and I was really pleased that kind of, you know, it kind of pulled everything together. So here you can see I'm sort of playing with my clusters and starting to stick things down. This was a pretty quick layout to do. It took me just over an hour, but I did have to pull out my Big Shot and sort of play around with that as well. I'm just cutting up some bits here because I decided I didn't want that heart just backed onto sort of an empty space, because it kind of showed the film strip behind it, and it looked a little bit weird. So I've just used a little bit of that pink card, which I'm going to mount the whole layout in, and I'm done a photo mat in as well. And I really like, you know, I really like this set of photos. I did use the pick frame app to make this cluster. So I used the 4-box design on the pick frame app to put my photos in, and I saved them to my camera roll, and then I put each of those cluster of 4 into a 4 quad in the pick frame again, and then printed those out on just my printer at home. And I did have to do 2 of those because, of course, I didn't take enough photos in the day to fill 2 4x4s quads, but actually it works quite well. And sort of the 6 boxes of photos, because that one at the bottom there does have 9 photos in, so it works quite well. So I'm just looking through the paper pad from Chamel, and I do want to pull in another little piece of the film strip just to decide I want to add a cluster over to that side. And I'm just going to trim that down a little bit and stick that there. And again, I'm using some of that paper that I painted as well. It works really well with these colours. And I'm just bringing in some strips there of the black and white, just again to make these colours pop a little bit. And I would say this is one of those layouts that I kind of wasn't really happy with until I backed it on my background paper, because it just, everything was looking a little bit lost and nothing really focused as such. So just adding that background just kind of added a border to everything. I'm not sure where I'm going to journal on this layout. I think I'm going to have to probably journal on the back here, because I don't want to take away from that background paper too much, especially after I've saved it so long to use. So I'm probably going to just journal either on a journaling card and stick that to the back, or just journal directly on the back of the layout. But I will come across that when I do it. I do have a stack here of probably about 27 layouts that I need to journal on. So I really need to get my button gear and do that. I find it was the same as like when I used to do Project Life. You kind of get the photos and everything like that done, and then you'd sit and do the journaling in one piece. And I think I definitely worked that with my layouts. But I just need to sit down and do it. It's probably going to take me, a couple of hours to do, because I do have quite a stack of layouts. And I like to refer to my journal and things like that as well. So, and again, I use the Project 365 app on my phone. So that's where I can check dates and stuff on things as well. My title for this layout is going to be this sticker from the Yes Please Amy Tan collection, which says Day in the Life, which is basically what this is recording. On my last layout, I did write about the hashtag that the girls who take part in this use. So I didn't necessarily want to include that on this layout, but I did want to include that it was Day in the Life. I do end up covering that July up that I spent so much time framing, but I really wanted to make sure that it worked okay for the title. And I'm just adding a couple of skinny little heart arrows on here, that again from that Yes Please collection. And I'm really loving these sticker books actually. I got this one in a recent rack, and yeah, I kind of like forgot about them. I think I still have a Dear Lizzie one tucked away somewhere. But actually I really like them, and they're quite good for just using for background clusters. And again, I'm just looking for things that are the right colour to add to this layout. So I'm just fiddling around here with some little bits to add. And my video is now frozen, so I'm not exactly sure what you're watching right now. My laptop is still having hissy fits, and I'm just like praying that it carries on with me, because I would be lost without my laptop. But to be fair, it does travel with me to work every day. It travels between my parents and the caravan and my boyfriend, so it goes everywhere with me. But yes, it's getting a little bit stubborn, I must say. So yeah, it appears that I was just pulling off some gold hearts from the Chamel collection sticker pad, and I've just added those, and it picks up the gold that I used in the background. And I'm just using some, I just do stick down those a little bit of extra sort of glue there, because I didn't find her stickers too sticky, to be honest. When I pulled them off, yeah, I was a little bit like, it's not really sticky enough. Here I decide that I want to do a couple of more of those little iPhones, because it's so cute that I want to add some more, because all of these photos were, of course, taken on my iPhone. And I think, again, that's something that, I think is really good to capture in our albums these days, because we do use our iPhones things, and especially this, because, it's uploaded onto Instagram, we use hashtags and all that kind of stuff, which I couldn't do without my iPhone. So I just made a couple more little iPhones up there, and if you don't have this die set, I recommend you get it. It also has little cameras in as well. It is so cute. So I pulled out these, oh god, I've forgotten what they're called, enamel dots. And again, I got these in a recent rack, and they are beautiful. And I'm just adding those to each of the spaces as well. I did also add a wood veneer sort of little banner on there as well, just to add a little bit of texture. And I really love these orange ones, and yeah, they just make everything pop. Yeah, you can't beat enamel dots. And I'm so lucky that you guys out there who watch my videos and who have sent me racks and stuff have sent me some enamel dots, because as you know, I love them so much, but they are so expensive here in the UK. But I have so many, you know, wonderful people out there who sent them to me that I'm fine now. I'm really happy. So I've just taken this Chamel date stamp, which I love because it is in the English format of the date, and it doesn't make a huge difference because, of course, I've been using the other ones for a long time, but I really do like that, you know, it's the English format of saying dates. So I'm really, really pleased, and I know I've said this before, that I really like how that has been done in this collection. So I'm just using that to stamp around all my photo elements because I thought the background wasn't busy enough, you know me. So I'm just adding those around the design, and then I'm going to finish up by mounting this layout on that background paper. And again, that's just going to pull everything together, and it is often when I'm making layouts, it gets to this stage and you mount it on that piece of paper and like, yep, it looks finished now, where it didn't look finished before. So here are some close-up photos, and I want to thank you guys all for watching. Thank you very much. Bye!